Folks, welcome to another damn week. This is so bad it's good. We start our Mondays off always with the pop culture roundup with the princess herself, the co-host of the insanely good snark bait, the one, the only, Sophie Ross Brooks. Sophie, how are you?
Hi, I'm good. How are you? I'm still so hungover from Friday night.
Oh yeah, so here's the deal, and we had signed an NDA, but I think now that it's over, we can actually talk about it. Sophie and we were at the Bezos Sanchez wedding in Italy, and I just got back. You're in New York, I'm in LA, and because we were like, oh, we got to record on Sunday, so we took off on Saturday, and they were still going. It was like a 3-day party.
Oh, I literally left in the middle of the foam party and just went straight to the airport.
Well, it was also, listen, I grew up admiring Oprah, but by no means do I she's unblousing herself. I saw her Hooters and I was like, Gail, what do you get your friend in order? And she was like, she's your problem now. And I was like, what are you even talking about? It was so upsetting. And this DiCaprio, he thinks he's invisible because of the baseball hat. We're like, oh, we know it's you, Leo. We know it's you. And he refused to take off the hat the whole weekend.
He was really pissed at you, Ryan, because you were trolling him a little bit about his hat.
Well, when I get uncomfortable, I start making jokes. And so I was just like, oh, Titanic was so long ago. And I was like, remember when you kind of had a girl's bod? You were very, I said, remember, well, I was trying to explain to him that he has the perfect, when he was younger, he kind of looked like male, female.
And pretty. Now, he was pretty.
Yeah, that's what I meant. And I think I was saying it in the incorrect way. And he took really big offense to it. And then I kept saying, I was like, hey, Leo, what's it like to watch an age appropriate wedding? And he really did not like that. He did not like that at all.
Ryan, this is the last time you're invited to anything from the
circle. I know. And then I kept taking things because I was like, oh, and then it was not even things I took an ashtray. I took matches from the hotel. There was huge bottles of Jägermeister. I took one of those and I asked Jeff to sign it. And he was like, what are you talking? It was just embarrassing. Did you take any souvenirs?
I took one of the buttons from Lauren's dress.
Oh, did it pop off or did you take it off?
It popped off. And I was like, you know what? I'm keeping this. I took a little trimming from the carpet that the ceremony took place on, and I'm going to sell that later.
Oh, I took one of the employees that Jeff had hired, and I have
just an entire employee.
Yeah, just an entire employee. I call him employee because I've never asked his name because Jeff doesn't want to get personal like that, and he taught me that. Also, I kept telling Kris Jenner, I kept calling her Kindle because I was like, oh, because she looks so young now with the facelift.
Yeah,
and she loved that, and I was like, what are you doing with this old man Corey?
Yeah, and you were with Corey and Chris and Coco quite a bit.
Yeah. By the way, the Illuminati exists. I do have an application in. Chris is one of my recommendations. And the other recommendation comes from Orlando Bloom, which he was also big on. He was recommending me shaving my legs. He's a big leg shaver, I guess. Did you notice that?
I didn't notice that, but I noticed that his legs are jacked.
But he shaves them to show off the musculature. Is that how you say it?
I guess.
He was another one. He was he saw Sydney Sweeney there and he was like, I'm going to walk past her and get a photo like I'm with her. And I was like, okay. And, but they didn't really talk, but he wanted it to seem like he was talking to every girl there. It was embarrassing.
Well, it was Sydney Sweeney in Orlando. And then apparently Sydney Sweeney in TB12, Tom Brady.
TB12, yeah. And did you get a word why Joe Burrow wasn't there? Or is this just retired athletes?
Honestly, I would have had a big problem if Joe Burrow were there. That's too far. It's
too far.
Met Gala, Paris Fashion Week. Okay, let's freaking cool it, Joe. You're still a kid from Ohio. Come on. I will say, I don't think any active NFL players were there because I think it's too close to the season, I want to say. But
and also, let's admit, there is, I think this all looked tacky as fuck. All joking aside,
you guys,
so tacky.
Money cannot buy taste. Like I said,
money can't buy your class.
Luann was right. No, the dress with the buttons from from head to toe.
And the
Why
carpeting on the
front?
floor. Did you see the carpeting on the
carpet.
floor?
The carpet.
It looked like shit you buy from like Office Max that you put down so your like chair doesn't scratch.
And like, why are they having a foam party? You're 60
So
years old. How old are they?
It's a 3-day event, and they had the wedding on Friday, which always cracks me up because a Friday wedding you do to save money, and they don't
you
need
couldn't
to
afford
save
a
money.
Saturday wedding.
Yeah, I was
but
like,
then again, it's like all the guests that are there. It's not like any of them have jobs. They don't know what day it is.
So there were so many weird like elements to this, like Kim, Chloe, Kendall, Kylie. And Corey Gamble was there representing the Kardashians.
Wait, did you hear like the blind item? Or I'm trying to think of where I saw it. That Chris and Kim are like, they have an existing friendship with Jeff Bezos, obviously.
Yes. Wait, do you remember when she was dating Pete Davidson and they double dated Jeff Bezos and Lauren Sanchez?
Yes, I do remember that. And we were like, who picked up the bill, you know? But I read that Chris like begged them. I mean, probably didn't have to beg them, but asked, hey, can Kylie, Kendall, and Chloe come as well?
Oh, really?
That's what I read at least. And I obviously, you know, I think it's pretty obvious, but like this was also a blind item on Crazy Days and Nights, I believe, which everything on Crazy Days and Nights take with a grain of salt. But it's very believable that, you know, they hadn't even met half of their guests before. Like these were just... Yeah.
Sophie, do you think in any world that Sydney Sweeney is a close friend of Lauren Sanchez and Jeff Bezos? Do you think Sydney Sweeney was like, we got to have Sydney there. We got to have Sydney.
Like part of me understands. It's like, oh my God, I got invited to a billionaire's wedding. This is going to be the like big, it's like a networking event kind of. But at the same time, it's such a bad look. And then you have Leo, who's clearly covering his face with his cap. Like he's embarrassed that he's there because he knows he looks like a hypocrite. Like, oh, you care about the environment?
That is the thing. Like Leo has like done so much amazing work for the environment and like, you know, with the carbon emissions of private jets and all of that stuff, you know, but Leo is a guy that loves to wear baseball caps down to his nose. Like that's not new, but it is funny in the company of other billionaires and famous people. Like, do you think his girlfriend, Victoria Soretti I think that's her name. Do you think she gets annoyed? Like, can we just get one photo with you without the hat? Like, do you think she ever gets annoyed by that?
Yeah. She's like, just be normal. Just one picture. Come on.
Or he's like, do not talk back. You know what? I'll go to another 25-year-old immediately.
I think she's 26 now, which crazy, right?
Time to cut it loose, Leo.
No,
cut that loose.
I know. But yeah, I just think it was all so embarrassing. And like, I guess, again, like, I feel like it's like a good networking opportunity for someone like Sydney Sweeney. But at the same time, it's just like, it just makes her look bad.
Yeah, I know.
It makes them all look bad.
No, the evolution of Jeff Bezos is so sad in so many ways because also, you know, if you just even check out his body type, this man went on allegedly human growth hormone at a certain point. He went from a wiry nerd with a wonky eye to a jacked up juice guy with a wonky eye. And like the Lauren Sanchez of it all, Lauren Sanchez has been kicking around Hollywood for the last like 35 years. And she used to be married to a really powerful agent. And then... Oh God, I have people have told me stories of Lauren Sanchez through the years, but now,
oh my God, tell one.
There was somebody that said they used to work around her, and she was like, she would snap at them for like eating sweets, like don't get fat, that kind of thing. Yeah, like you got come on, don't cheat. Like,
how about? Don't get that last procedure because you have a Joker smile now.
Yo, how the hell did Kris Jenner get the good plastic surgery and then Lauren Sanchez billions of dollars can't? That's why plastic surgery is so tricky. It seems like it's like hit or miss.
I was looking at photos of her, you know, from like a decade, 2 decades ago. She's always
beautiful.
Beautiful. Yeah, she looks botched as fuck now. Sorry, she does. Botched. And all of the outfits were bad. The dress was terrible. There was one picture where there's a safety pin still in it.
Really?
How does that happen? A safety pin? Like how? It was just humiliating.
It's funny now that she's with Jeff, she has all of these pet projects. Like she wrote a children's book and she has these foundations now. And, you know, The Cut wrote a pro Lauren Sanchez article on like last week. And it is fun. You know, she was on the cover of like the digital Vogue and people were like, what the fuck are you doing, Vogue? Which, by the way, we also got news this week that Anna Wintour is stepping down from Vogue. I'm not into fashion at all. Did that mean anything to you, Sophie?
I was not surprised. I've heard whisperings of this for a while. Not that I'm like, I'm an insider.
Crazy Days and Nights whispered about it earlier this year.
No, it wasn't. It wasn't Crazy Days and Nights. It was kind of just, I feel like, a universally held feeling by people in the fashion industry that like you have Vogue France, Vogue Thailand, Vogue UK, like all of the international versions of Vogue always had really beautiful, exciting covers and shoots. And the Vogue US covers are always so boring. Like, think about the last, I just wanted you to take a second to think about the last Vogue US cover that really, like, you were like, wow, this is amazing.
But see, Sophie, since I'm not into fashion, the only ones that stand out are like the weird ones that like cross over into my pop culture sector, like the one with Kim and Kanye's wedding. Like I remember that Vogue cover.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. How many years ago was that? That was a memorable one.
What are the ones for you as a woman that grew up reading Vogue? What were the ones that stand out to you?
Oh my God. Honestly, like I can't even think of any like US ones or international.
Or I mean, I don't know even what the big. I don't know how you judge those.
If you look at like Vogue UK covers or like Vogue Thailand, like I said, like they have such beautiful editorial shoots, and it's not even just the celebrity. Sometimes it's just a model, and they're so beautiful and editorial and just glamorous. It's about the clothes. It's about the backdrop. Like with Vogue US, it'll just be like, I don't know, Jennifer Lawrence, a beautiful celebrity, but it's just like, it's boring. It looks like a headshot.
It's like Vogue the Valley and it's Brittany Cartwright. Yeah, check out my Vogue. Woo!
And it's literally just literally a headshot.
Yeah, I know. I get. You guys. Does
that make sense?
It does make sense.
I feel like I'm not explaining that well.
No, it does make sense.
What I mean?
Yeah, there's a great documentary about Anna Wintour and called The September Issue that came out, I think, like 15 years ago. And it's like her and Andre Leon Talley and stuff. And somebody that wasn't into fashion, I still found it a fascinating look at her life and Vogue and things like that. And I'm reading this book on Virgil Abloh right now, who passed away. Mm-hmm. And he was put in charge of like Louis Vuitton.
And he created Off-White, the brand.
Yep, exactly. But those are the kind of things like I always love reading, even if I'm not into fashion, like the beginnings of something or somebody creating something and like rising to some sort of power. Okay, back to the Jeff Bezos wedding really quick. The Orlando Bloom, Katy Perry, we mentioned this last week, but they are officially donezo. They are headed towards divorce. Bezos
they were married.
They weren't. Yeah, sorry, they weren't married. You're right. They weren't married. They have a child.
That. Yeah, they have a child and they were engaged.
So he was there, Orlando Bloom, and like Orlando Bloom, like I don't know. All of a sudden, he just became real tacky to me. Like looking at all these photos of him, he's all buff and.
What happened? I mean, Legolas, like that's my guy. Legolas.
No, I know you're like all horned up for that guy in that set
but
with
like
the wig.
I got the ick like this weekend. Like we were having fun together, but like there was just a moment where I looked at him, and I think it was like at the foam party before I left, and I was just like, ugh.
I don't know. Every photo, and this is what I read into it. There seemed to be like a desperation to every photo of like, I need to be talking to a girl. Hey, what's going on? And sometimes I think he thinks he might be more famous than he actually is. You know what I'm saying? Like he's done some great things, but like I would say
when was the last movie he was in besides Lord of the Rings? I can't even tell you.
I would go around wearing that Legolas wig everywhere just to remind people that I was in that like amazing trilogy.
He's like that guy Thomas Felton who played Malfoy in Harry Potter, he cannot let it go.
Oh, isn't Thomas Felton playing Draco in the Broadway play now of Harry Potter and the Cursed Child?
Yes, and everyone's like, that's so sad and embarrassing. Like, he cannot move on.
I mean, but think about it. All those 90s movies and early aughts movies, they're all doing the fan conventions now where that's how they make their living, just signing autographs at like conventions.
Wait, so I'm on Orlando Bloom's Wikipedia page. Have not heard of any of these
by the way, I'm sure you just pulled that up. It wasn't just up there already. Yeah.
It's a bookmark. I haven't heard Gran Turismo, Red Right Hand, Peppa's Cinema Party, Deep Cover. These are all of his most recent movies. And then I see Pirates of the Caribbean, obviously.
Huge.
He was in The Hobbit, obviously. The Bling Ring. He played himself.
Himself.
Oh my God,
and weirdly enough, not believable in that film as himself. So anyways, and then Katy Perry.
Orlando.
Katy Perry wasn't at that wedding. She's still on her world tour, but she was like taking pictures with like koala bears and like weird animals and posting them on her Instagram. And I don't know if that was like a cry for help and then Lauren Sanchez wrote an Instagram comment like, "We miss you, Katy." So I don't know if Lauren Sanchez was like stressing out.
Wait, she did?
Yeah. She said, "We miss you, Katy." your boyfriend's trying to dry hump anything that like is
no, because
like,
I was gonna say I feel like if anyone was closer with them it was Katy, because she went to space with Lauren and like
you go to space, you ruin your career by going to space for Jeff Bezos, and you don't even get an invite to the wedding.
Yeah, like what?
And Oprah, I love Oprah so much, but my God, girl,
this was so no. I'm sorry. Just all of like the billionaires that were there. Like
who are they waving to? Jeff Bezos and Lauren Sanchez. Every time you see a photo, they're waving. Who are the like? Everybody was protesting the wedding in Italy. Who are they waving? Are they waving to the protesters?
Yeah.
Like what do they wave? Are they just fake waving? Like I don't understand what that was at all. Where are they honeymooning when their whole life is a honeymoon at this point? He has a $500 million yacht that's like parked right there.
That's a great question. Is that how much his yacht cost? $500 million?
$500 million, yeah. All those guys. Zuckerberg has a huge yacht. And the other guy that was there in the background was Sam Altman, who does ChatGPT at OpenAI. Yes. And I just finished a book about him. And I think it's called The Optimist.
Oh,
and it's very geeky and talks a lot about venture capitalists. I will say we're screwed. We are all we're screwed. Like these venture capitalists, it's like him, Peter Thiel, Zuckerberg, Bezos, Musk. It really is scary to think about the power that all these guys have. And they just go from event to event. So like in the background of like an Orlando Bloom picture, I was like, oh, there's Sam Altman, one of the most powerful people in the world, and like he's one of the top billionaires in terms of financial wealth. But it is scary, this AI and how much it is increasing in power and strength. We talked about it last week about that guy who fell in love with his AI, but then this cracked me up. Did you see Mr. Craig Conover from Southern Charm went on a podcast called The Toast?
Yes, I did see this.
The couple things about this that I want. Everybody, I was getting sent this or tagged in this, like, he did buy the ring. See? Because I guess in this interview, she goes, what about the ring? And he goes, here's a ring.
The pictures definitely had like a Shutterstock watermark on it.
That's what I said. It said Getty Images as a watermark.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm not trying to be a hater, but I will say, so this girl that hosts the Toast said,
Jackie.
it even says in the metadata that it's in Charleston. So he said he got it in the Diamond District in New York. That's where he bought it, right? So then he took it back to Charleston. It was on his nightstand, this picture. Mm-hmm. And is it bad of me to be like, even though I like Craig, is it bad of me to be like, okay, I'm going to need a little more proof? Like I'm going to need a little more.
No.
Just a little more.
Not at all.
Because I think the Toast, they're in business with the Toast because don't they do Spritz Society?
Yes.
So I think Jackie would lie for this guy.
No, I completely agree. We need more evidence. This does not at all
because he was kind of casually talking about it. So if he was like,
he also was going into way more detail to make it seem more believable. I feel like he was like, there was like a hidden halo, like blah, 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 like describing the ring. I'm sorry. No, I completely think that he's still lying.
And also, wouldn't this Diamond District dealer in New York like pass something to Page 6 or I don't know? Like I just feel like I need something a little bit more.
No, you have no idea how off the grid those Hasidic Jews are.
Is that who runs the Diamond District? Oh, yeah. You know what? Is that like Uncut Gems?
I didn't listen to the episode, but apparently he did mention that I think it was a Hasidic man.
He was like, it's a Hasidic
That's
Jew.
part of his lie. Part of his lie was like being anti-Semitic.
So he had a big nose and he had ringlets. He spoke in Yiddish. I don't even know. I think he ripped me off. I don't know. Like that would be wild. And then the other interesting thing about that, which I cracked up because you mentioned this last week, was that Craig said he's doing therapy on ChatGPT.
Yeah.
He says he also does real therapy. He then followed it up with, I also do real therapy. But he said he does a lot of therapy on ChatGPT, which I was like, bro.
It explains so much about him.
So then I saw this and I was like, fuck it. I'm going to try ChatGPT. And I got a ChatGPT account and I wrote, what is the purpose of life? I was just like warming the ChatGPT up. And it says, the purpose of life is subjective and can vary greatly depending on individual beliefs, values, experiences, relationships and connection, personal growth, contribution and service, fulfillment and happiness, spirituality and meaning. So I was like, okay, that's pretty basic, but I would never be like, oh, that's a good therapist. Like, and I was like, then I switched it. And I was like, do you think Craig Conover actually bought Paige DeSorbo a ring or do you think he's lying? And then ChatGPT was like, it appears Craig Conover did purchase an engagement ring for Paige DeSorbo and he has provided photo proof to back it up. And then he listed about the toast. And then I wrote, to ChatGPT, but you and I both know that pics can be faked. And ChatGPT started getting like my homegirl. It was like, exactly. Listen, timestamp pics aren't exactly the smoking gun they used to be, especially when your audience is a bunch of Bravo sleuths who've already lived through Sandoval, the Chrisleys, and Teresa's tax drama. Anyone with a basic grasp of Photoshop or Canva can whip up receipts faster than Ramona Singer can ruin a girl's trip. So then, like the ChatGPT, I get it to agree with me, but now it's talking to me like a homegirl.
It always does that.
What's up, sister?
Yeah, it always says, like, how do you do, fellow kids? Also, don't fucking bring us into the Chrisley of it all. Like, they do not count as, like, Bravo icons. I'm sorry. Fuck off with that, chat.
But then I was like, got really frustrated, but I wanted to be like, don't talk to me like an asshole, ChatGPT. Like, why are you talking to me like with slang?
That's it's a little unprofessional. It's like, why are you like, no, please.
And this is who's giving therapy to Craig. This is who's giving therapy to Craig.
Yeah, exactly. You guys, it's ridiculous. And also, that's why AI is not reliable, because you'll ask a question, it'll be like, yeah, this did happen because Craig said it on the toast. It's like, Craig is a fucking liar, chat.
But and then if I say that, then it agrees with me. Then it's like, oh, you're right. And I'm like, you tell me what's right.
No morals. They have no backbone. Chat has they don't believe in anything.
Do you think we're going to get a Southern Charm storyline from Craig just about the ring? I'm getting a little nervous that we might.
Are they filming right now?
I think they're already done filming or close to done filming because they started filming. Southern Hospitality season 4, I think last week, but I think Southern Charm's done filming for this season.
Honestly, like, I imagine, that Craig's storyline could be like some of the fallout still from the breakup, honestly. And I know that we're all fucking over it. Like, we're so over it, but at the same time, he's having to watch his ex-girlfriend, like, be everywhere, like, literally everywhere. Like, that has to, like, she was on Jimmy Fallon, on Love Island. Like, there is no escaping it.
Fiji, yeah.
Yeah. So,
she won't be at the summer house, though.
But he also mentioned that him and his rebound, Natalie or whatever, already broke up. Yeah, so I wonder what happened. I don't know.
I think she got weird with it. I think she got weird with it.
What makes you say that?
I read something where she was posting on her Instagram stories about like, I'm not like nailed down with anyone right now, but there was speculation that it was just too much with the Paige stuff and all of the press. I don't know.
Oh, I mean, that's fair. Yeah.
Sophie, are you, and I don't know if you'd be honest about this, are you behind the new Twitter account that follows me, Justice for Jax Taylor?
You can't be caught red-handed.
Have you seen this Twitter account?
Have I seen it? I have memorized all of the posts. He bleeds too, He bleeds too.
So you guys, I talked about this on the Valley Recap, but if you don't listen to that, there's a new Twitter account, and its username is Justice for Jax Taylor, and they're doing ChatGPT.
It's Frank Drebin.
Images that are really scary. It's like, my trauma matters, and it's Jax screaming while like doctors are like taking his.
Bravo fans all yelling, and Bravo fans are all wearing like Bravo shirts, and he's like, "Stop it!"
No,
stop it.
But it could be like, I mean, it reads like parody, and the account says it's not parody, but I mean. It says, thinking about Mr. Jax Taylor's debilitating panic attack in rehab and how not one cast member cared or rushed to his aid. These kind of non-actions are dangerous and can destroy an already vulnerable man.
Honestly, now that you mention it, so obviously the persisting theory is that it's Jax.
I don't think it's Jax. I mean, it could be somebody in his camp, but I just think this is so.
But the more you say that, like you saying that's parody, I'm like, wait, this actually could be brilliant parody work. Like, it's actually so funny, the AI images. By the way, the AI images, like, that's definitely what Craig used for that ring photo.
And by the way, it was such a blurry, I don't know. Sorry to not believe. And by the way, I think he still is potentially lying, I still like Craig.
Wait, why are you apologizing for not believing a known pathological liar?
Because I just feel bad most of my life. I just feel bad about everything. So I think that's just one of the things that I throw the guilt on me. Because I also, listen, I know life is hard, and at least we're not. Do you think they're going to do a men's group on Southern Charm this season where they all have to lay hands on each other and be like, I forgive you, like the men's group on the Valley?
Fucking Scott, that con artist.
Yeah, by the way, I guess Scott is actually a car dealer. That's not his actual, like, he has a 17. So
he's
now
literally a used car salesman.
Could you, but I just, that Valley scene alone, where it's like they take it so seriously. I can imagine them pitching it to production of like, well, I do have a life coach. You know, he does a men's group. You know, do you think you'd want to film that? And the producers are like, yeah, we want to film that. Like, hell yeah, we want to film that. And then it's like, I love them all kind of apologizing to each other. It's like, why don't you fucking do this with the women there? Like, apologize to like, Jax, why don't you do this with Brittany there? It is psychopathic that they're all like sitting there circle jerking each other about like being a man in the modern world. All bunch of liver kings.
Literally fucking psycho. Yeah, liver king. Yeah, it's like, come on. Oh my God. It's so frustrating to watch.
We only got 4 more episodes left of The Valley, and they're in Hawaii now. And I don't, like, obviously we're going to have Luke and Kristen get engaged. Jax isn't there. So I don't know if we're going to get clips of Jax, like, holding the fort down at home or seeing his son for the first time since he got out of rehab. But, Janet did not have another good episode. It was another bad episode for Janet.
Oh my God. Janet was so, and also no self-awareness. So she obviously has that freak out at that Mexican restaurant.
Yeah.
And then apologizes later saying she had too much to drink. Does she not see the irony?
Nia hit her immediately, like, really that early in the day? Yes. And I was like, wow, Nia.
Yep. Love Nia. It all backfired. It seemed like they all wanted Nia and Danny to be hated. Maybe it's because they like seem so perfect. But like, sorry, they are. No, I'm just kidding.
Well,
Danny
no,
obviously
they're
has his
not.
flaws.
Yeah, but like they're a couple. Like, but it is interesting because Nia and Danny both have a very strong religious background, so you can really see them fighting. Like, where Nia especially fighting with that. Like, she'll say things like prayerfully, or we see a shot of them at church. And like, I really truly believe that she's like, it is so intense when she was like crying at the Mexican restaurant, because that's not how she lives her life, is it, with like a bunch of people that are like trying to take down each other. That can be shocking. I think they're used to it because they've been around like the Vanderpump main crew for so long that I think most of them are desensitized. But I imagine you get somebody new in there that actually believes in peace and love, it's going to rock your world.
Oh yeah, for sure. Oh, poor Nia. She's just a sweet, innocent pageant girl.
Well, she is, but also I think she's a ball buster. Like, we've seen a couple things. I think she rides Danny hard. I think she tells him what to do, but not in a bad way. I think she just rules the roost.
No, and I think she's done a really good job of like standing her ground. Like, she's not letting herself be walked all over. Like, she's not a pushover like you might expect because she's so sweet.
I'm just scared, like, by the 3rd or 4th season, she's going to be like a pack-a-day smoker and like a big drink. Like, it's going to drive her to something like just, she's going to get like a septum piercing or something.
Oh my God. Honestly, yeah.
But
she's going to be just as bad as the rest of them, with their...
That's what I'm saying. Like, bringing them to the dark side instead of bringing people to the light side.
Yeah. Dark side Danny.
There was an article by Louis Staples this week about like, saying fire Jax Taylor again because they fired him once. It was basically what we were all saying already, but I really think they've written that out, and I don't think they're going to fire him. I don't think, because they start filming in August, and I think that will be right around the time the reunions have finished airing. And remember, they filmed the reunion like 3 weeks into this season because they wanted to do it before, Nia and Kristen had their babies. So they didn't even get to see all the after shows and like all the shit that was talked about on the after shows between each other. So a lot of them are already angry. So we're going to come in already pretty hot.
Oh my God, you're just saying that because Jax listens and follows you, and you don't want to say he's getting
justice for Jax Taylor, you guys. Justice.
He bleeds too,
He bleeds too. Listen, after this episode, I realized as a white male, it's like we've got to, I hope people understand how hard it is for us.
It's so hard.
By the way, you guys, I realize most of us know that we're being smartasses, but I do get scared for like the 2% of the audience that like still is like, they went to Bezos' wedding and and then also, wow, he really thinks white men have it hard. No, this is all in jest.
Guys, we're being jokey and silly.
Did you see that Charlize Theron was on Watch What Happens Live? Amazing actor.
Yes, it did. And did a Lindsay Hubbard impression. It was so fun. She like nailed Lindsay's voice, honestly.
God, she's so good in that Mad Max Fury Road that came out like 10 years ago. But she also said that her and her girlfriends went to Jax's Studio City, Jax's saloon. And she said on Watch What Happens Live, she goes, I think they watered down, like, I think they don't give I ordered a Casamigos and I think it was like Trader Joe's tequila. And she was like, it's fine. She goes, nobody was there. She goes, it was 6:30. She was like, we were there. It was like 6:30 to 7:30, me and my girlfriends. And it was fun, but like they watered down their drinks. And, and then somebody was posting on TikTok from this weekend at Jax's, and they said, place is a mess. It's like everything's falling apart and nobody was there. And I do wonder if that place is going to survive another. I guess they just got to make it to August.
It doesn't sound like it. Remember when I wanted to go when I was in LA? I was like, I really want to go to Jax's saloon, not to support Jax, but just to like see what's up,
Yeah, of course. But it's one of those things that's a really fun, great idea. And then the reality of that would not potentially be fun.
Like, wow, I just like wasted an entire afternoon.
Yeah, and they took off the beer cheese from the menu. They just scratched it off. They didn't even replace the menu.
That is like the number one draw, I feel like.
Yeah, but I went to, Sophie, I think I told you this. I went one time, and I swear to God, it's the pub cheese from Trader Joe's.
It probably is, honestly.
No offense to Mama's. Like, I'm sure her actual cheese is good. I just don't think it was Mama's actual beer cheese.
It probably was pub cheese from Trader Joe's, honestly, which is good, by the way. I've gotten that before.
Oh, God. Man, I used to down those things. Like, nobody's with the jalapeno you can get, too. What are you guys covering on Snarkbait this week?
So I am going on vacation. I'm leaving tomorrow.
There's a special fill-in, you guys. Next Monday, there's gonna be a special fill-in, so tune in. There might be a crossover. Who knows?
Next week. So we actually batched a bunch of episodes that are gonna go live through the next few weeks. We recorded a Mary-Kate and Ashley Olsen episode, deep dive on them. And I also
did you talk about the cigarettes the one had at their wedding out in like Pete
to Nicholas Sarkozy.
Yeah.
Mary-Kate's wedding. Yeah, of course. They were centerpieces. So I also saw Brokeback Mountain in theaters last week for its 20th anniversary.
By the way, just hit New York Times 100 best films of the 2000s that was released this week. One of the top 20 films of the 2000s.
Brokeback Mountain was?
Brokeback Mountain, yeah.
As it should be. Like, I hadn't seen it probably in like 15 years. Forgot how incredible that movie is.
It's a beautiful film.
And it like reignited my like,
I just can't quit. I just can't quit you.
No, it's I wish I knew how to quit you.
Yeah, my big thing.
All we've got is Brokeback.
I can't be surviving with a fuck every year. Come on.
Oh fuck.
Ang Lee directed the hell out. Yeah, I mean, Heath Ledger and Jake Gyllenhaal are so good in that.
They're so fucking good. It reignited my obsession with Heath Ledger. So I was like doing like the whole like Heath Ledger rabbit hole, and then it lined up perfectly with the Mary-Kate and Ashley rabbit hole. Because remember, Mary-Kate and Heath dated, and when the masseuse found Heath Ledger, may he rest in peace, face down, unconscious, she called Mary-Kate Olsen 3 times before she called first responders, 911.
Yeah, there was like,
crazy.
It was like 3 different drugs in his system. Like,
there were like
downers.
6. Yeah, there were like 6. There was oxycodone, whatever it's called, Valium, Vicodin, Xanax, Unisom, another sleep medication, and then like maybe one more. So
and the way he worked was so intensely. If you like follow, like even like I guess his most publicized role was the Joker, and he really like locked into that and like got a hotel room and would make these journals and like really put himself into the reality of like a psychopath.
Yeah, he was definitely more of like a method actor. Also, when I was listening to podcasts about Brokeback Mountain after I watched it, Jake was the more like, oh, I'm gonna improv, and Heath was like, no, like I'm reading my lines, I'm in this character. But he had a drug addiction prior to the Dark Knight filming. Like it wasn't like a trigger warning suicide. I mean, as far as I can see it, I think that it truly was an accident because he had a drug problem.
Oh, I think it was completely an accident because he was getting a massage. He was trying to like relax. I don't think he had I think it was very hard for him to sleep, if I'm remembering correctly.
Yeah.
And he reminds me a lot of another actor that I think Heath was inspired by, an actor named River Phoenix, who is Joaquin's brother. I don't think you probably know River as much. It was from my generation.
Viper, remember the Viper room? How I walked by and freaked out? Yeah.
Yeah, but like he did these like My Own Private Idaho with Keanu Reeves, which is like an amazing movie, kind of in the vein of Brokeback Mountain in a sense. But it is really sad because you would think where would Heath Ledger be today? Like what kind of movies would he be? Would he be at the Bezos Sanchez wedding? Would he be at the Bezos Sanchez wedding instead of Orlando Bloom? You know,
it honestly makes me so sad. I remember I was a sophomore in high school. It was 2008. He was 28. He didn't even make it to 30. And I was a sophomore in high school.
He was only 28. Jeez.
He was 28. I remember exactly where I was as a sophomore in high school. I was on the school bus on the way to a bowling tournament because I was on the bowling team. Cincinnati, Ohio. And I remember saying to my parents, I was like, I'm just so upset because it's like, you know, all of the beautiful work. He had so much work left in him. And my parents were like, come on, shut up.
Don't be a dick. You get out of the car.
I meant it. I meant it then. And I mean it now. I'm like, he was so fucking talented.
Well, this is, like I remember I was at work at this acting studio and it came over like, cause I would just refresh like my computer on like entertainment sites. Came over the intercom, the printing press, the old timey printing press. And, but I'm a huge, I think you guys know this, but I'm a huge Batman fan. So my first thought was like, did he fucking finish principal photography on The Dark Knight? And he hadn't. There was a couple shots left. And that's why The Dark Knight ends with like the Joker swinging back and forth. And there was a couple shots that were not able to get. So they had to like tweak some of the vocals. And like some of the shots, I guess, were not finished. But, you know, it's still such an insanely good performance. But there was going to be more films with Heath Ledger as the Joker. But his daughter, Matilda, is still, you know, and
his ex, were they married? Michelle Williams?
Michelle Williams? Yeah,
I'm not sure if they were married, but Michelle Williams, who also was in Brokeback Mountain, she was fabulous in it. Oh my God. What a loss.
So you're going to have the cheery story of Heath Ledger this week on Snarkbait. So make sure you subscribe to the Patreon.
Next week, but same
next
thing.
week.
We also did a deep dive for our Patreon, the disappearance of Amy Lynn Bradley, inspired by the new Netflix documentary that's coming out.
What's the new Netflix documentary?
About Amy Lynn Bradley.
I'm sorry. So there's so many people disappearing.
I love how I act like everyone has like the brain that I have, where I memorize all of these random missing people and murders. She is the woman who disappeared from a Carnival cruise in 1998, and it is highly suspected that she was trafficked. That she didn't fall overboard. She was trafficked, and Who was she with on the cruise ship? She was with her family, but apparently some of the cruise ship employees trafficked her. She didn't fall overboard. She was trafficked.
When does this premiere on Netflix?
July. I think it's like July 16th or something like that.
I'm going to reach out to them and see if I can talk to the director then, because I just had.
Oh my God, you should.
This is not as serious or grave, but the train wreck poop cruise. I had the director on this week.
I watched that too. I just watched that.
Wasn't that wild? I love the seriousness in which they took it, and it was like almost heartwarming at times with the father and the daughter.
The dad crying.
He goes, "We just only have so many years left," and the mom thinking that he had lost her daughter. Her daughter just couldn't shit. It was all good, you know.
the dad being like, I couldn't protect her. It's my one job to protect her. It's like, you couldn't protect her from the raw sewage.
She had to eat a lettuce sandwich. But there's a great, it's the Trainwreck series of documentaries. And they started with the Astro World, you guys. And then the Poop Cruise was the second one. They have one on Rob Ford, the disgraced Canada politician. And there's a bunch more that I've seen that are coming out in the next couple of weeks. And I think I have more directors coming on from it. But I love this series because they're also the people that did Woodstock 99 about 4 years ago that I loved as well. But I love when you take these, what I really found fascinating was when CNN got involved, because it wouldn't have been a national news story, but they were like, you know what? Let's see if cruise ship passengers that can't poop sells any advertising. And it took off.
And also, you guys, I don't want to minimize what they went through because it actually sounds like my worst fucking nightmare. It actually sounds like the worst thing in the entire world. But yeah, between that and learning about, I'd known about the Amy Lynn Bradley, but recording an episode about it, I was like, why do people go on cruise ships? I called my mom. My parents are going on a cruise soon. I was like, are you sure?
My parents used to love cruise ships.
Parents love cruises.
I was talking to the Patreon about this weekend. It was that was my mom's final wish. She took us all on a cruise 2 years ago. I think this week we went to Alaska on this cruise, and she, but that was her, she wasn't even supposed to do this, and she was just all out of whack, but she made sure she was there. It was my first cruise. And it is just so much excess and so much sodium. It's just a weird experience, but she loves.
Wait, that was your first one?
First one, yeah.
I went on one when I was in 6th grade. But what
did you think of it as a 6th grader?
Going to the teen club or whatever. It's
my niece and nephew, they were just walking around the boat. They would just lap the boat because they didn't know what else to do, but they could get ice cream and just the amount of food and the amount of sodium that is, it's so much.
It's like everything. Disney World.
Yeah. I would do a cruise again, but it's a weird, it's a different kind of lifestyle.
Yeah. You're stuck. You're literally stuck.
Wait, speaking of disappearances, I told this to the Patreon this weekend as well, and I want to ask your opinion, but just sit with this so Sherri Papini, they have reached out and she wants to come on the show.
You should do it. You should do it.
She's been hitting the podcast circuit. Now, the difficulty is I don't believe her. But at the same time,
that's why I couldn't watch the documentary. I was like,
but I watched the documentary. I had the director on, but I also, at the same time, I kind of want to have that experience. And there are things that I'm curious about how she would answer. Now, she's doing the podcast circuit. She did Juicy Scoop and my friend Annie Elise's podcast, Serialously. And I don't know, I don't want to I don't know, I'm really kind of conflicted about it, but I kind of want to have that experience. And I don't know if that makes me bad.
I think you should do it. You don't have to believe her.
Well, that's the thing. I just kind of want to ask these
questions.
And try to do it in a nice way. I don't want to, I don't know. So it's something I've been thinking about all weekend.
But you also don't have to be that nice. You are extremely nice to everyone who comes on your show. You don't have to be.
Yeah, what if this is the one I try to be? And it's like, whoa, way too mean. I'm like Jax Taylor. I'm the #1 podcaster at this table right now.
You're like James Kennedy. Fat bitch. Ugly slut.
I poked on my BMW. This is a goofy pod, you guys. In some good news, I don't know if anybody's a fan of the Lisa Kudrow HBO legendary show, The Comeback. I have been a huge fan of the 2 seasons that were not together. Years and the second season came years and years and years after the initial season. But they just announced in 2026 a 3rd season of The Comeback with Lisa Kudrow is going to be airing on HBO Max, and I'm excited about that. So that is something positive. And another something positive, which this is only for my handful of geeks that listen. Matt Reeves, the director of The Batman with Robert Pattinson, they just finally finished The Batman 2. The final
when does
script.
That come out?
It's not going to come out until 2027, but they had taken their sweet ass time with the script and they finally finished the script.
I'm sorry.
Your husband's a superhero guy.
Oh, he loves that.
He loves Batman, right? Or is it mainly Marvel?
No, he loves that. I think he's over. If you've lost Henry, Marvel has lost everyone. If you lost Henry, that's bad. Exactly. It's too hard for people to keep up. They just don't care anymore. But he loved the Batman. I I just don't get like what. Why does it take you 2 years? You're done filming it. Get in the editing room.
Yeah, do you have writer's block over Batman? Like, you know how many things
Editor's
you can do?
block? Just like
Yeah,
put the scenes together. I don't know. Get into iMovie. I don't fucking know.
Well, there a lot is riding on this Superman movie that premieres July 11th, and it is it's going to be. I mean, I'm going to see it in the. I'm really excited to see it, but it really kind of like Warner Brothers is betting a lot of money on their. They're trying to compete with Marvel, and they gave it all to James Gunn, who directed all the Guardians in the Galaxy films, and he's in control of all the DC movies now at Warner Brothers. But if Superman tanks, they're fucked. Like, they have like he's building a whole world.
Honestly, I think David Corenswet, I think his name is, the new Superman, is really hot.
Okay, good. That's good. Like, I'm glad. So, like, that's what we need for these movies to do good.
Yeah, I'm down for it. Like, I'm down to watch it. Like, I'm not. Yeah,
is Henry gonna go see it?
Yeah, Henry thinks it looks bad, which again, not
it's just colorful.
Good sign.
It's just colorful. Everybody's got to get all the muted dark.
I saw the trailer and I was like, wow, this actually looks good. And Henry was like, no, it looks bad. And I'm like, that's not a good sign. Henry's
it's not a good sign him telling you how to feel. That's what's not a good sign.
No, but I'm just saying that like the archetype of like a superhero movie like guy is kind of Henry. Like if he thinks it looks bad, that's not promising.
Yeah, but I hated the last Superman, like directed by who's
I
that
didn't
guy?
Watch them.
Zack Snyder. I
also get
muted.
the ick for Henry Cavill. Like I don't like him.
Yeah, he's a very certain type. By the way, you guys should do an episode on Henry Cavill because I heard he was like had some really weird peculiarities in terms of like his working style, and he's a video game guy too, and he got removed. I think removed from Netflix's series the
with The Witcher.
The Witcher, yeah, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah. I heard that too. Actually, I'm adding him to my notes app to remember to do an episode on him. That he was horrible to work with and just awful. Yeah, I've heard just really bad things about him. Also, that he's creepy and just like ugh.
Yeah. Well, and also weird movie news is that this got announced this week that The Social Network 2 is being written by Aaron Sorkin, the guy who wrote the first Social Network. Now, the first Social Network was directed by the amazing David Fincher. I think this one is going to be directed by Aaron Sorkin as well as the script. But where do you go? And it's not known yet if Jesse Eisenberg is going to play Mark Zuckerberg again.
He has to.
But where do you what period of Facebook do you go?
Are they
going to
fast forward? Are they going to fast forward to him being like, this billionaire with like
I hope it's that one where he's on the surfboard.
I was gonna say the sunscreen on his
cool.
face. The sunscreen. No, the whole the climax of the movie is him trying to get everyone to care about the metaverse and no one cares. And literally no one gives a fuck.
What I'm trying to do is build a metaverse, and it's eons. We're trying to sway political elections by allowing interference from the Russians. I wonder where you go with that, because it just seems like there's so much that has happened.
I didn't hear about
Facebook.
that, but I'm really excited now because I love The Social Network.
Yeah, just got announced this week, which is a very real thing. Now, Sophie, I do not think you are watching this, but I got to tell you, I know everybody's Love Island USA fever still, even though I think it's not been.
Are you talking about Miami?
Yeah, Real Housewives of Miami. We're only 3 episodes in, you guys, and it's good. Like, it's not like reinventing the wheel, but my God, it is good. It is really solid, and I don't think enough people are watching it. And I know you guys don't listen to me, but if you do, just watch Real Housewives of Miami before it's too late.
Could I start on this season without knowing the backstory of everyone?
You totally could.
Okay, maybe I will. Maybe I will, because I've seen everyone say that this is like the best television. It's like better than anything on TV or in movie theaters right now.
Because you know Larsa Pippen already, so you'll be aware of like Larsa and Marcus Jordan broke up. They do talk about it. It's just, I don't know. I think it's really good, and I'm afraid it's getting lost in the mix. And Next Gen NYC is really good too, on a very different way.
I love Next Gen NYC. Love it. I think it's so much fun.
Can you believe Seth Marks is like, what's fluid mean? Oh my God, sexual. I'm trying to be pansexual. Like, what?
I would die if Seth Marks was my dad. I would rather have what's his name, Anwar.
Oh, Hadid.
I would rather not Hadid. Anwar, Charlie's dad.
Oh, sorry. Charlie's a character, you guys, in Next Gen NYC. He's a Bitcoin
I would
dealer.
rather have Anwar as my dad than Seth Marks because at least Anwar has swag and like is kind of cool and mysterious. Seth Marks is so fucking embarrassing and cringy and tries so hard to be funny and like he's just so cringy. Oh my god, it's
he's too supportive of his kids. Like Anwar like makes fun of his son, and Seth is like, I want to do what the kids are doing. You know, I want to touch some dicks. Let's do this. You know?
He's so cringy. Also, did you see that video of Meredith DJing in Times Square?
I was going to ask if you happened to go to Times Square today. Meredith, like it's wild. What these like reality shows do to people over the years, like it really seems to be, if you want to get involved in DJing, you got to start by having a real life and then getting into reality TV, and then you'll eventually get to the DJ. It's a pipeline that happens, but it's a sad pipeline.
It's very sad. There needs to be like a psychological study done on like reality, like how they go from like normal people, because Salt Lake City only started airing in what, 2020, 2021? I think it's 2020.
Pandemic,
Would Meredith be bouncing around? The way that she was like, but she wasn't smiling. There was no joy on her face. She was just bouncing with just a straight face. And so weird.
And then part of me was watching her jump, and I was like, I wonder if she's a little hungover from the night before. And I was like, that's got to be kind of painful to jump up and down that much. And then I was like, is it really worth it? And think about it, like DJs in general, there's got to be so much competition. You know, you got Diplo and all of these different DJs. But like the Housewives reality star DJs, that's a crowded field now all of a sudden. You got Kyle Cook, you got Dorinda Medley, you got Meredith Marks, you have James Kennedy,
if that counts.
You have so many of them competing for like a kitschy spot on somebody's like lineup.
I'm sorry, like I can create a Spotify playlist too.
Do you think they even pick their own playlists? I'm so curious of how these actually go down.
I don't understand it. And they always have like the one headphone or whatever. Like, it's just, I really don't get it, you guys. Like, what is, like, I think I'm really good. Like, I was just with a bunch of friends last weekend and I was on the aux and I was getting so many.
Wait, what's on a Sophie aux playlist? Like,
so
what are we hitting?
I was playing 2008 hits. So what
are we talking like Miley Cyrus, Party in the USA? Is that where we're going?
Like Black Eyed Peas.
Let's get it started in here. Let's get
Rihanna, Run This Town. Like I play the throwbacks because you know that everyone's going to know them. Like if you play any song from today, isn't that crazy? Like you could play any song from today in a crowded room.
It's too segmented. The audience.
It's too segmented now. Like no one knows all the same songs. So what you have to do is do the throwbacks and it's like a hit every time.
Yeah, it brings us to that is the last music in the early aughts was like one of the last monoculture moments that we had where everybody, even if you didn't like the Black Eyed Peas, you know, I got a feeling
or
that
I'm gonna be rocking like this. Or big girls don't cry.
Fergie.
That's Fergie though.
That's what Let's Get It Started was. All joking aside, people seem to forget this was initially on the album called Let's Get
Our Word.
R word. Let's get da, da, da. And it was on the radio. Like it was on the radio. Nobody questioned it. And now then they were like
normal. That was normal.
And then it was Let's Get It Started, which by the way, why wasn't it Let's Get It Started to begin with? Because that's even just way better regardless. Like who was like, was it Will.i.am that was like, no, let's go with the hard R word?
I don't know, you guys. I don't know. It's so strange.
Guys, by the way, we had almost a horrible accident last night. Beyonce doing the Renaissance tour.
Oh my God. Yeah.
Does this thing where she floats in this like old timey car across the audience. The car got stuck in the air and Beyonce had to be like, stop. And then she like was very poised as they had to pull her down. And like, she is such a professional. I've watched video from many angles now.
Yeah.
And she just keeps it very poised.
Yeah. She does.
Very like not freaking out.
You can hear it in her voice that she's getting nervous. I just don't think that like, first of all, there are so many little technical things going wrong for Beyonce in this tour. There's so many videos that come out where like the robotics, like everything is going wrong. She needs to fire everyone. Second of all, like it's not worth it. Like, yeah,
imagine if that's how you go out. Like I lost my life in a 57 Chevy at the Houston Astrodome. Like, I mean, like imagine like in the, like fell in front of my like Bayhive.
No, like, oh my God.
Did
it's
you
like
see that
Smile,
video?
Smile 2. Did you ever see that?
Yeah, I did. Oh, but Megan 2.0 came out this weekend, I guess.
Oh my God, you're right. I need to go see it. That and Jurassic World.
That comes out. So Jurassic World comes out on Wednesday for the 4th of July weekend. And then what was the other movie? Oh, F1 came out with Brad Pitt that I don't really have a lot of desire to see.
Yeah, me neither.
I saw Days of Thunder with Tom Cruise.
Rules are, there ain't no rules.
Yeah, we're racing for pinks. That's what, which by the way, they did a Grease sing-along here at the Hollywood Bowl this weekend.
God, cute.
And John Travolta came out in a piece as Danny Zuko, like, wop up and luba, it's Sandy, what's going on? And he came out and all the the T-Birds were there. I mean, everybody's old as shit, but it was so cute. Like, I think Grease is one of those very pure movie-going experiences for any, I think it holds up.
Oh, it absolutely does.
Okay, so Megan 2.0, there was something else too.
Wait, Jurassic World, F1.
Scarlett Johansson.
I don't know what got into me. I had a dream about Jonathan Bailey the other night.
So Jonathan Bailey also, he's been kissing Scarlett Johansson on the red carpet because they're in Jurassic World, or it's Jurassic World, right? That's what it's called. And Jonathan Bailey, also the guy from Wicked. Now he is an openly gay man, and everybody is lusting over this man. And you say you're having dreams about him?
Yeah. So after I saw Brokeback Mountain, I'm walking, in the theater, and I saw the posters for the movie, and then I think I just saw Brokeback Mountain, and there are parts of that movie that are really hot, even for like a straight woman. And then also it's maybe him kissing ScarJo. Either way, it was an amalgamation of all those things that made me really lust after him in my dream.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the story. So I'm excited to see Jurassic World. You guys know how I feel about CGI creatures.
So is it Jonathan Bailey, or do you have like a gay kink, like a men gay kink? Like, is that?
I don't know. It's a good question.
Henry, Henry, kiss that guy. That's hot.
That's hot.
That's hot. It's so hot. That part in Brokeback Mountain, now I'm just thinking about it. Did you watch, are you caught up on And Just Like That at all?
Yeah, I am.
Well, remember like 3 episodes ago when Aiden spit in his hand? I wonder if he stole that from Brokeback Mountain, because remember he spits on his hand in the tent to like enter Jake?
Yeah. To enter Jake. Oh my God, stop.
Do you think that's where Aiden, like the John Corbett got it from? He's like, you know what? This is kind of like my Brokeback scene, but it's with me, just myself.
Stop, Jack, I swear. Twist.
Carrie, I can't be with you for no 5 years.
One fucking year just to live off that.
Dude, did you, so anyway, it's still ridiculous. It's getting a little boring. And
it is so bad. Also the fact that Miranda and Carrie, they have this giant fucking like townhouse, penthouse, whatever the fuck it is.
Yeah.
They can't live together for like, couple days.
Because Carrie's a fucking asshole. Carrie's a cruel. I mean, Miranda's not that good either. Because even I know not to eat the last banana and the last yogurt. Like, I know that as well. But like, come on, you're all fucking rich.
It's yogurt. Yeah, go order more. You're a millionaire. Like, go get groceries.
What upset me more is that we meet Carrie's downstairs neighbor, and like she's always click-clacking on her heels, and it's driving this guy crazy. But I didn't know about the downstairs neighbor. Exactly. Why would she fucking like hire people to do the backyard when it's not her? I thought it was only her backyard.
Exactly.
Why wouldn't you ask your neighbor then of like, I'm going to be tearing this whole place up? What an asshole move. Like, I didn't know there was somebody living below Carrie, or I wouldn't have approved of it.
I'm like, where did this downstairs neighbor come from? Like, I thought it was a townhouse. Like, what are you talking about? There's a downstairs. I think it might be someone who's maybe like it's Carrie's home, and that is someone that's like, I don't know, it's very unclear. The writing is so bad. It's just like, oh my God. There's like a hint of like a good plot in there somewhere. Like there's something.
Well, the moral of the story is just don't get old. Don't get old and don't get rich. Like you're gonna turn into an asshole. I'm like, what I'm banking on is that at the end of the season, Aiden's troubled son kills Carrie.
Wait, what's his name? Wyatt?
Wyatt, I told you not to kill Carrie. Wyatt, no, but then Aiden has to cover it up because he loves his boy so much. Get the bucket. This is how I taught you to paint the fence. We're gonna paint over. It's gonna pass the luminol. Come on, Wyatt, get your head in the game. And then they cover it up.
Pour the acid in the tub. We're dissolving.
And by the way, the rest of the girls hate Carrie so much that they think Aiden did it, but they don't even give a shit. They're like, well, you know what? He got away with it. And then finally, Samantha comes back.
I actually if you want to save the show, I know that you guys are listening to this, the AJLT writers. That's how you save the show. Wyatt.
I read what tweet was it that I read the other day, or it was on Threads? Somebody was like, quick, I'm one of the writers for And Just Like That, and ChatGPT just broke down. Can somebody help me with ideas? Because it really does seem like just every like popular topic, and we're doing all, it's just such a weird show. I don't even know how to describe it to people anymore.
The naked neighbor with the meat cleaver actually was the most realistic part of it all.
Yeah.
Of the writing. I'm like, yeah, that is something that would
checks.
just like happen, and then you just have to like move on from it. You're just like, okay. But like I just thought that them being roommates would have been like a fun, like, plot thing. Like I thought that would have been fun, but no, couldn't even last a couple days.
So as we wind down here, I watched all 10 episodes of the 4th season of The Bear is on Hulu. It's better than the 3rd season. But it's still, this Jeremy Allen White, like at this point, he's a great looking guy, great actor, but just the character is so insufferable that the other people like Ayo Edebiri, I thought was fantastic again. And I think she will be nominated or probably win another Emmy. But I watched all 10 episodes of that. The 3rd season, and final season of Squid Game came out on Friday on Netflix as well.
Yeah,
I haven't watched the second season.
I haven't watched it yet. I haven't watched the second half yet. Because Henry was out of town this weekend for a bachelor party, and we need to watch it together.
Yeah, Rebecca's out of town too, so I was like, wait, she let me watch The Bear because she doesn't give a shit about that. But
yeah, I don't give a fuck about The Bear either, so I'm with Rebecca on that one.
So tonight, or I guess yesterday, The Real Housewives of Atlanta, the reunion is starting. Love Island USA every night. I did a full recap of the past week of Love Island. We've got 2 more weeks, I believe, of Love Island USA. But to me, it's basically like, I just don't want to see influencers on reality TV anymore, or people with already huge audiences.
Oh, you're over it?
No, I'm not over. I don't know. I think that you want to believe in love at some point, even though it's ridiculous. And none of these people are making me believe in anything. They're making me believe that they're all going to be successful when they get out of the island. These are going to be people that we're going to have to see now for the next couple of years.
Successful influencers, like that Rob guy on The Traders.
Yeah, Rob Roush. Yeah. Monday we have Wimbledon begins, you guys. We have a new show on Bravo. It's actually the 2nd season, but they moved it to Bravo, the McBee Dynasty, Real American Cowboys, which I don't know if this is Bravo's like trying to be a little Republican, trying to get a little MAGA. But people seem to really like this show. I did not watch the 1st season. But it is, they're going to be on
there's
Bravo.
already been a season?
Yeah, it was on Peacock. It was Peacock exclusive, and now Bravo took it over for the 2nd season.
So interesting.
We have Below Deck on Tuesday. Our favorite, you guys, the Nick Viall show comes to Hulu. The Secret Lives of Mormon Wives reunion drops, and Nick Viall is hosting it. And listen, I love the 2nd season of Secret Lives of Mormon Wives, so I will be watching the hell out of this. I think there is no chance that, like, all joking aside, I don't think Nick will be bad in this because it's a huge opportunity. I think he's going to make sure this is decent.
But he's going to be slouching and wearing cowboy boots regardless.
Well, you can't take away all of his, like, you let him keep something.
Maybe.
What's up here, Macy? Let me push back on that a little bit.
Yeah, let me just push back on that, Zach.
When I was filming The Bachelor,
oh my God, yes, oh my God, he's gonna make it so much about himself. Everything. Oh my God, I'd rather have the fucking Lachey's.
And obviously, I'm Nick Lachey. So Tuesday we have a new episode of The Valley. We have Love Island USA, Next Gen NYC. Wednesday, Real Housewives of Miami. and then Love Island, and then it's like the holiday, you guys. It's the 4th. So go have fun, be safe, celebrate. And Sophie will be out next week, but you can still hear her on Snarkbait. We will have a special guest next Monday, which I'm very excited about. And yeah, that's it. Is there anything else going on?
No.
Oh,
no,
wait.
I'm
This is
excited.
it.
What?
Okay, so I asked ChatGPT what the purpose of life is, but I've been thinking a lot about life, you know, as I get older. And what do you, or maybe when you were raised, did you have a strong, like, this is what I think life is about, or this is how I want to live my life? Are you very intentional?
Not really. Maybe I should be more intentional.
No, you don't have to. I'm just like, I didn't know if there was a code that you live your life by. Like I have certain friends that like, well, this is what, you know, my dad taught me and this is how I try to look at things. And I don't. Like I'm always like bummed that I don't have more of a code.
I would say in terms of what my dad taught me and what my dad's dad taught him is literally, and I know this is so boring and generic, but like be a nice, good person. Like I feel guilty if I am picking up Baxter's poop and I miss a little pebble. You know, like it's those little things where it's just like I feel like I have a good moral compass because of how I was raised and just being nice and being a good person, I think is, you know, and I'm not always perfect at that. Honestly, I can be a cunt sometimes, but
well, yeah, but by the way, I mean, like you're always going to have slip ups. I mean, nobody's just like uniformly nice their entire life. You've got to have something to improve upon. Yeah. We also, Tom Sandoval won. Well, he won, like he got passed on America's Got Talent to the next round, I guess. I don't know if you saw that.
Oh my God.
What's up,
good
dude?
for him, I guess.
Taking my name back. Okay, you guys, go subscribe to Snarkbait and the Patreon. We have a Patreon as well. You can watch us on YouTube as well. All of the things. But anyways, have a great Monday. Come back all week. I have an Olympic medalist on Tuesday, which I'm very excited about, and a lot of great guests. So keep coming back, and we will talk to you next time, guys. Bye.
Bye.